And a tense couple of hours for Detroit police, fire, and EMS as the city's emergency communications fail. The problem's been fixed now, but officials still aren't sure what caused that.
7 Action News reporter Ross Jones is live on Detroit's west side tonight. And Ross, I understand this had the new chief. He's just been on the job for a week now. He's very upset.
To say the least, Jeff, and you'll see that in just a second. Chief James Craig has worked in a lot of police departments. He said he has never seen this happen before and said he better never see it happen again.
In fact, I'm concerned about this. I'm actually appalled.
On the job for barely a week, new DPD Chief James Craig was woken up to news that his 911 dispatch system had shut down. Starting about 5:30 this morning, all calls to Detroit police, fire, and EMS were still going in, but operators couldn't reach officers, firefighters, or paramedics. They had to use cell phones or landlines instead, delaying 17 priority 911 calls and 110 non-emergency calls. Earlier in the day, DPD gave much higher totals, but later said those numbers weren't accurate.
This is a service and a lack of accountability issue. I'm just going to be clear.
The dispatch system is maintained by Motorola. Chief Craig says DPD has a backup in place, but that failed too. He says he learned today that it's never even been tested.
This should not have happened. We should have known that the fallback system may not work. If we had tested it as it was supposed to be tested, like in other places every 3 months maybe, then maybe we wouldn't be sitting here today.
It was definitely the craziest 4th of July in a while.
Detroit Police Union President Mark Diaz says his officers were busy enough responding to calls from residents who weren't sure if they were hearing July 4th fireworks or gunfire.
Our run count definitely was high, and then when communications fell off, that made it even worse.
The good news, say officials, is that the system shutdown took place in the early morning when 911 isn't very busy. Within hours, Detroit officials patched into the state's communication tower and dispatch was restored. Chief Craig said at his press conference that a cause still hasn't been determined, but to city residents, he made this promise.
This will not happen again. That's my assurance to the community.
Now, Chief Craig was also asked at this press conference about his very high salary. He just started last week, and he is making $225,000 a year. That is more than Mayor Bing. He faced questions about his pay package, and coming up at 6, you will hear how he defends it. We're live on the city's west side. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
All right, thanks a lot, Ross.